What if I told you that the most powerful knowledge ever discovered by humanity has been deliberately hidden from the masses for thousands of years? What if the true teachings of ancient mystery schools, from Egypt to Greece, from Tibet to Peru, weren't just philosophical concepts or religious beliefs, but precise technologies of consciousness that gave initiates abilities that would seem almost supernatural to the uninitiated? Today I'm going to reveal what ancient mystery schools have kept secret for millennia, the core teachings that were reserved only for those who had proven themselves worthy through years of preparation and testing. This isn't speculative history or New Age fantasy. It's the actual inner teachings of traditions like the Egyptian mystery system, the Eleusinian mysteries of Greece, the Hermetic order, the Essene Brotherhood, and the Temple of Solomon, teachings that were deliberately encoded in symbols, myths, and allegories to hide them from the uninitiated. Before I reveal these forbidden teachings, you need to understand why this knowledge was kept secret for so long, and why it's finally being revealed now. The ancient mystery schools didn't hide this knowledge out of elitism or a desire for control. They concealed it for three specific reasons. First, these teachings contain technologies of consciousness so powerful that in the wrong hands they could be used for manipulation and control. Just as we don't give nuclear codes to those who haven't demonstrated the wisdom and responsibility to use such power ethically, the mystery schools didn't share their highest teachings with those who hadn't purified their intentions. Second, these teachings can be dangerous to those who aren't properly prepared. Activating certain energies and awareness without the necessary foundation can create psychological instability, energetic imbalances, and even physical illness, what the mystery traditions called the dangers of the path. Third, and most importantly, these teachings can only be truly understood through direct experience, not intellectual comprehension. The mystery schools knew that premature exposure to advanced concepts, without experiential foundation, would lead to misinterpretation and distortion. So why reveal these teachings now? Because humanity has reached a critical threshold in its collective evolution. The veils between dimensions are thinning, the old systems of control are breaking down, and consciousness itself is accelerating toward what the mystery schools prophesied as the Great Awakening. In this new era, these teachings must be accessible to all who are genuinely called to them, not based on external status or affiliation, but on the inner readiness of the soul. Now, let me reveal the 7 core teachings that were at the heart of all genuine mystery schools, regardless of their cultural context or historical period. These teachings weren't just philosophical concepts, they were precise technologies of consciousness that initiates spent decades mastering, technologies that gave them abilities that seemed miraculous to the uninitiated. The first forbidden teaching, the law of mental transmutation at the core of all mystery traditions, was the understanding that consciousness is not produced by the brain, but is the fundamental reality from which all else emerges. The ancient Egyptians called this principle Saya, the primordial awareness that precedes creation. The Hermetic tradition called it the All, the mental foundation of the universe. The forbidden teaching wasn't just that consciousness creates reality, a watered-down version that has become popular today. The actual teaching was that consciousness can be trained to transmute reality directly, without physical intervention, through specific mental technologies. The initiates of mystery schools learned to enter what they called the transmutative state, a specific configuration of consciousness that allows direct manipulation of matter and energy. This state isn't achieved through simple visualization or affirmation. It requires a precise calibration of brainwave patterns, heart coherence, and what the Egyptians called K-energy, what we might now call bioelectromagnetic fields. Let me share the exact protocol for entering the transmutative state, a practice that was only revealed in the inner chambers of the mystery schools after years of preliminary training. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit on a wooden chair or stool, never synthetic materials, with your spine straight and both feet flat on the ground. Place your hands in a specific configuration, left palm up on your left thigh, right palm down on your right thigh. This creates what the mystery schools called the circuit of transformation, a specific flow of energy through the body that facilitates mental transmutation. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. allowing it to slow naturally until you find what the Hermetic texts called the rhythm of life, approximately 7.8 breaths per minute, which synchronizes with the Earth's Schumann resonance. As your breath stabilizes in this rhythm, bring your attention to the center of your brain, specifically to the pineal gland, what the Egyptians called the seat of Saya. Visualize this center activating with a blue-white light that gradually expands to fill your entire cranium. As this light fills your head, silently intone the sacred sound that the mystery schools use to activate the transmutative state. This sound, transliterated into English, is Chania. Repeat this sound silently 7 times, feeling the vibration intensify with each repetition. After the 7th repetition, declare with absolute authority, by the law of mental transmutation, I enter the state of conscious creation, mind over matter, thought into form, intention into manifestation. As it is in the realm of Saya, so it is in the physical world. This declaration activates what the mystery schools called the alchemical authority, the conscious assumption of your power as a creator being. From this transmutative state, you can begin the actual work of conscious creation, directing your calibrated consciousness towards specific transformations in physical reality. The mystery schools taught that any transformation is possible from this state, but they emphasized that initiates should begin with small verifiable changes before attempting more significant transmutations. The second forbidden teaching, the chambers of creation. While modern manifestation teachings focus on visualizing desired outcomes, the mystery schools taught a far more sophisticated approach, what they called the chambers of creation. This teaching revealed that manifestation occurs through a precise sequence of chambers or stages, each with its own energetic signature and purpose. The Egyptian mystery system depicted these chambers in temple hieroglyphs as a series of rooms that the initiate had to navigate in sequence. The Greek Eleusinian mysteries encoded them in the story of Persephone's descent. These aren't metaphorical chambers, they're actual dimensions of consciousness that exist in what quantum physicists now call superposition states within the field of potential. Let me reveal the 7 chambers of creation and the exact protocol for navigating them, knowledge that was only shared with initiates who had reached the highest levels of the mystery schools. The first chamber, the chamber of essence. This is where you connect with the essential nature of what you wish to create, not its form, but its fundamental quality or essence. The second chamber, the chamber of patterns. Here you work with the geometric patterns that will structure your creation, the sacred geometry that underlies all physical form. The third chamber, the chamber of energy. In this dimension, you infuse your creation with the specific frequency of energy required for its manifestation. The fourth chamber, the chamber of elements. Here, you balance the elemental forces, earth, air, fire, water, and ether, that will constitute the physical expression of your creation. The fifth chamber, the chamber of life. This is where you imbue your creation with what the Egyptians called Enki, the animating principle that gives it vitality. The sixth chamber, the chamber of time. Here you work with the temporal dimensions of your creation, its timing, duration, and evolution. The seventh chamber, the chamber of embodiment. This final chamber is where your creation transitions from potential to actual, from the subtle dimensions into physical reality. To navigate these chambers effectively, the mystery schools taught a specific protocol that initiates would practice daily for years, until it became second nature. Begin in the transmutative state I described earlier. Once established in this state, declare, I now enter the chambers of creation, the sacred dimensions where thought becomes form. I move with awareness and intention through each chamber in perfect sequence. Then navigate each chamber as follows. In the chamber of essence, ask what is the essential quality of what I wish to create. Don't focus on the physical form or specific outcome, but on the fundamental quality or essence. For example, not a new house, but sanctuary or stability. Feel this essence as a pure vibration or quality, free from specific form or limitation. When you feel fully connected to this essence, declare, the essence is defined. I now proceed. In the chamber of patterns, visualize the sacred geometric pattern that will structure your creation. The mystery schools taught that every manifestation is built upon one of the primary sacred patterns: the seed of life, for new beginnings; the flower of life, for growth and expansion; the tree of life, for balance and integration; the Yantra for abundance and prosperity; the Metatron's cube for protection and power. Visualize the appropriate pattern, glowing with golden light, rotating slowly before you. As the pattern stabilizes in your awareness, declare, "The pattern is established. I now proceed." Continue this process through each chamber, spending approximately 3 minutes in each one, following the specific protocols that were taught to mystery school initiates. After completing all 7 chambers, declare, "The sequence is complete. The creation is initiated. From the subtle to the dense, from potential to actual, what I have seeded in the chambers of creation now manifests in physical reality through the perfect operation of universal law." This protocol activates what the mystery schools called the manifestation sequence, the precise process by which consciousness creates reality through dimensional gateways. The third forbidden teaching, the Akashic initiation, perhaps the most closely guarded of all mystery school teachings, was the protocol for accessing what they called the Hall of Records, or what we now know as the Akashic Records, the dimensional library that contains all knowledge, past, present, and future. Modern descriptions of the Akashic Records present them as a metaphorical library that can be accessed through meditation, but the mystery schools taught something far more specific, that the Akashic Records are an actual dimensional field that can be accessed through a precise attunement of consciousness, allowing the initiate to retrieve specific information with perfect accuracy. This wasn't considered a psychic ability or channeling. It was taught as a science of consciousness, with specific protocols and safeguards. The Egyptian mystery system called this the initiation of Thoth, the god of wisdom, who guarded the sacred records. The Greek traditions called it the Delphic connection, the source of the oracle's profound knowledge. Let me share the exact protocol for Akashic initiation. The method taught to high-level initiates for accessing this universal field of knowledge. Begin by creating a sacred space, a physical location, free from electronic devices and electromagnetic interference. The mystery schools taught that certain materials facilitate Akashic connection, particularly natural stone, especially limestone or marble, pure beeswax candles, cedar or sandalwood, pure water in a copper vessel. Arrange these elements in a circle around your meditation space. Sit facing east, the direction associated with new knowledge and illumination in most mystery traditions. Place your hands in a specific mudra or position, palms up, thumbs and index fingers touching to form circles, with the remaining fingers extended. This creates what the mystery schools called the receptive circuit, a specific energy configuration that facilitates Akashic connection. Close your eyes and establish the transmutative state described earlier. Once in this state, visualize a doorway of light appearing before you, a vertical rectangle approximately 7 feet tall and 3 feet wide, glowing with a pearlescent blue-white light. This doorway is the access point to the Akashic dimension. As you focus on this doorway, recite the sacred invocation that the mystery schools used for Akashic access. By the power of truth, I, while living, have conquered immortality. I stand at the threshold of knowledge, seeking wisdom with pure intent. I call upon the guardians of the sacred records to grant me access, not for power, not for gain, but for the evolution of consciousness, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be. The records are open to the seeker of truth. This invocation contains specific frequency patterns that the mystery schools discovered create resonance with the Akashic field. After completing the invocation, visualize yourself walking through the doorway of light into a vast, luminous space that seems to extend infinitely. This is the dimensional field of the Akashic records. Once within this field, you must establish what the mystery schools called the query focus, a precise formulation of the specific knowledge you seek. This isn't a vague intention or general area of interest. It's an exact query, formulated with perfect clarity. Hold this query in your consciousness without wavering, maintaining complete focus for at least 108 seconds, a number the mystery schools found creates optimal resonance with the Akashic field.
As you hold this focus, the information will begin to flow into your awareness, not as speculation or interpretation, but as direct knowing. The mystery schools taught initiates to distinguish between true Akashic information and mental projection through a specific discernment protocol. True Akashic information arrives with complete clarity, often contains unexpected elements, feels impersonal yet precisely relevant, carries an unmistakable resonance of truth, often contradicts existing beliefs. Mental projection contains vagueness or ambiguity, aligns perfectly with expectations, has emotional charge or personal bias, lacks the resonance of deeper truth, reinforces existing beliefs. After receiving the information you seek, express gratitude to the guardians of the records and visualize yourself returning through the doorway which closes behind you. Then ground yourself by placing both hands on the earth or floor, taking 7 deep breaths and slowly returning to normal awareness. The mystery schools emphasize that Akashic initiation should never be used for trivial matters, personal gain at others' expense, or manipulation of any kind. Such misuse would result in what they called the veiling, a natural protection mechanism that would block further access.
The fourth forbidden teaching, the alchemical body. While modern spiritual teachings often focus on transcending the body, or seeing it as separate from spirit, the mystery schools taught a radically different approach, what they called the alchemical body. This teaching revealed that the physical body is actually a sophisticated alchemical laboratory designed for the transformation of consciousness and the manifestation of spiritual forces in material reality. The Egyptian mystery system encoded this knowledge in the process of mummification, not just as a preservation technique, but as a symbolic representation of the alchemical transformation the initiate underwent while still living. The Hermetic tradition preserved it in alchemical texts that used metallurgical symbolism to describe internal bodily processes. Let me reveal the core of this forbidden teaching, the understanding that specific organs and glands in the human body are designed to produce what the mystery schools called the elixirs of transformation, biochemical substances that literally alter consciousness and activate latent abilities. The pineal gland was known as the seat of seer, pure awareness, and was trained to produce what modern science now identifies as DMT, dimethyltryptamine, and melatonin, compounds that facilitate interdimensional perception. The pituitary gland was called the master controller, and was activated to regulate the entire endocrine system for optimal consciousness expansion. The thymus was known as the seat of power, and was developed to produce immune-enhancing compounds that protect the initiate during consciousness transformation. The adrenals were called the alchemical furnaces, and were trained to produce specific hormones that fuel the transformation process. The gonads were known as the creators of the elixir, and were taught to transmute sexual energy into spiritual power through specific practices. The mystery schools taught precise protocols for activating each of these alchemical centers, not through external substances or medications, but through specific breathing techniques, sound vibrations, movements, and mental focus. Let me share one of these protocols, the activation of the pineal gland for enhanced perception, a practice that was taught only to initiates who had completed at least 7 years of preparation. Begin by sitting in complete darkness. The mystery schools used specially designed chambers devoid of all light, but any completely dark room will suffice. Place your hands in a specific configuration, left hand at the base of your spine, right hand at the back of your head, specifically at the occipital ridge. This creates what the mystery schools called the circuit of illumination, a specific energy pathway that activates the pineal gland. Begin a specific breathing pattern. Inhale for 7 counts, hold for 7 counts, exhale for 7 counts, hold out for 7 counts. This creates a rhythm that the mystery schools found stimulates pineal activation. As you maintain this breath pattern, focus your attention on the center of your brain, specifically visualizing the pineal gland as a small pine cone, which is its actual shape in the center of your head. After 7 complete breath cycles, begin to intone a specific sound that the mystery schools used for pineal activation. This sound, transliterated into Dinglish, is I T die 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 T die. Intone this sound for 7 complete breath cycles, feeling the vibration centering more precisely in the pineal region with each cycle. After the 7th cycle, shift to a specific visualization. See a small point of indigo light forming at the center of the pineal gland. With each breath cycle, this light grows slightly, becoming brighter and more defined. Continue this visualization for 21 breath cycles, a number the mystery schools found creates optimal pineal activation. By the 21st cycle, the indigo light should fill your entire cranial cavity, creating what the mystery schools called the illuminated chamber. From this state, declare the activation affirmation that initiates were taught: the eye of Horus is open, the seat of Seer is activated. Inner vision replaces outer limitation. I see beyond the veil of material illusion into the true nature of reality. This protocol activates what modern neuroscience now recognizes as enhanced pineal function, including increased production of melatonin and DMT, compounds that literally alter perception and facilitate expanded awareness. The mystery schools taught that regular practice of this protocol, specifically for 144 consecutive days, creates permanent changes in the pineal gland, establishing what they called the perpetual inner light, a continuous state of enhanced perception. The 5th forbidden teaching, the Hermetic seals. One of the most misunderstood teachings of the mystery schools concerns what they called the Hermetic seals, specific energy configurations that protect the initiate during advanced consciousness work. Modern interpretations often reduce this to simple psychic protection or energy shielding, but the actual teaching was far more sophisticated, a precise science of what we might now call interdimensional boundary maintenance. The mystery schools taught that as consciousness expands, it naturally encounters other dimensions and entities, some beneficial, some neutral, and some potentially harmful. The Hermetic seals were not barriers against these encounters, but sophisticated filters that allowed beneficial exchanges while preventing energetic intrusion or depletion. Let me reveal the exact protocol for creating the 7 Hermetic seals, a practice that was taught only to initiates preparing for advanced dimensional work. Begin in the transmutative state described earlier. Once established in this state, focus on the base of your spine, what the mystery schools called the foundation seal. Visualize a specific geometric pattern forming there, a red equilateral triangle within a circle. As you focus on this pattern, declare by the power of the foundation seal, I establish perfect boundary at the gateway of earth. What is mine remains, what is not mine cannot enter. The seal is set, the boundary is maintained. This activates what the mystery schools called the first Hermetic boundary, an energy configuration that maintains integrity at the most physical level of your energy system. Then move your attention to the area just below your navel, what the mystery schools called the creation seal. Visualize an orange crescent moon within a circle forming there. As you focus on this pattern, declare by the power of the creation seal, I establish perfect boundary at the gateway of water. What is mine remains, what is not mine cannot enter. The seal is set, the boundary is maintained. Continue this process through all 7 seals, each with its specific location, geometric pattern, color, and declaration. After activating all 7 seals, complete the protocol with the final integration declaration. The 7 seals are now active and integrated. My energy system is sovereign yet connected. I engage with all dimensions from a place of perfect boundary and perfect permeability. As above, so below, as within, so without. The Hermetic balance is established. This protocol creates what the mystery schools called the sovereign field, an energy configuration that maintains personal integrity while allowing beneficial interdimensional exchange. The mystery schools taught that these seals should be activated before any advanced consciousness work, particularly before Akashic access or interdimensional travel. The 6th forbidden teaching, the dimensional gates. Perhaps the most controversial teaching of the mystery schools concerned what they called the dimensional gates, specific access points between our physical reality and other dimensions of existence. This wasn't taught as metaphor or visualization, but as literal gateways that initiates could learn to locate, activate, and traverse. The Egyptian mystery system encoded this knowledge in temple architectures that were designed as physical representations of interdimensional gateways. The Greek Eleusinian mysteries preserved it in the myth of Persephone's descent to the underworld. The Essene tradition taught it through what they called the chambers of ascension,
Let me reveal what the mystery schools taught about these dimensional gates, knowledge that was reserved for only the highest level initiates. According to this teaching, there are 12 primary gates located at specific points around the Earth, places where the boundary between dimensions is naturally thinner and more permeable. These locations include the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, Machu Picchu in Peru, Sedona in Arizona, Mount Kailash in Tibet, the ancient city of Agartha, now hidden, the underwater structures near Yonaguni, Japan, the stone circles of the British Isles, the caves of Damanhur in Italy. But the most controversial aspect of this teaching was that initiates didn't need to physically travel to these locations to access the gates. They were taught to create what the mystery schools called resonant access points, consciousness technologies that allowed them to connect with these gates from anywhere through specific protocols. Let me share one of these protocols, the method for connecting with the Giza Gate, which was considered the primary dimensional access point on Earth. Begin by creating a sacred space as described earlier. Establish the transmutative state and activate the 7 Hermetic seals for protection. Once fully prepared, face east and create a specific geometric configuration with your hands, index fingers and thumbs touching to form a triangle, with the remaining fingers extended. This creates what the mystery schools called the pyramidal resonator, a configuration that establishes energetic resonance with the Giza pyramid. Focus your attention on this hand configuration while beginning a specific breathing pattern. Inhale for 6 counts, hold for 3 counts, exhale for 9 counts. These numbers correspond to the key proportions of the Great Pyramid. Maintain this breath pattern for 12 cycles, a number the mystery schools associated with dimensional gateways. As you complete the 12th cycle, visualize a doorway forming before you, not a symbolic or imaginary doorway, but what the mystery schools called a genuine fold in the dimensional fabric. This doorway should appear as a vertical rectangular opening filled with a swirling misty light that gradually resolves into a clear view of the king's chamber within the Great Pyramid. Once this image is stable in your awareness, declare the gateway invocation that initiates were taught. By the science of dimensional resonance, I align my consciousness with the Giza Gate. I stand at the threshold between worlds, prepared to traverse dimensions with awareness and purpose. As it was for the initiates of old, so it is now for me. The gate is open, the way is clear. After this declaration, visualize yourself stepping through the doorway into the king's chamber. What follows this entry was considered the most sacred and secret part of the teaching, the actual experience of the higher dimension, accessed through the Giza Gate. The mystery schools taught that each initiate's experience would be unique to their consciousness and purpose, but all would encounter what they called the guardian of the gate, a specific consciousness that tests the initiate's preparation and intention before allowing further passage. This wasn't described as a fearsome entity, but as a precise energetic assessment that would automatically return the unprepared to normal consciousness. For those deemed ready, the dimensional experience would include direct transmission of specific knowledge relevant to the initiate's spiritual purpose, what the mystery schools called the inheritance of the ancestors. The 7th forbidden teaching, the immortal body. The ultimate teaching of all genuine mystery schools concerned what they called the immortal body, the culmination of all other practices, and the true purpose of spiritual initiation. This wasn't about physical immortality, as it's commonly understood, though some traditions did teach methods for extending physical life far beyond normal limits. Rather, it concerned the creation of what the Egyptian mystery system called the light body, the Tibetan traditions called the rainbow body, and the Hermetic tradition called the solar body, a vehicle of consciousness that transcends physical death and allows continued evolution. Modern interpretations often reduce this to a metaphor for spiritual enlightenment, but the mystery schools taught it as a literal transformation, the actual reorganization of the initiate's energy structure into a form that maintains coherence and consciousness beyond physical death. Let me reveal the core of this forbidden teaching, the understanding that human beings are designed to undergo a specific metamorphosis, similar to how a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, but at the level of consciousness rather than form. This metamorphosis isn't automatic. It requires specific practices sustained over time to activate what the mystery schools called the immortality codes encoded in human DNA. These codes were understood to be dormant in most humans, activated only through precise consciousness technologies preserved in the mystery traditions.
The most closely guarded of these technologies was what they called the alchemical marriage, the perfect integration of polarized energies within the initiate's consciousness and energy system. This wasn't about external marriage or relationships, but about the internal unification of what the Hermetic tradition called the solar and lunar currents, the Taoist tradition called yin and yang, and modern systems might call masculine and feminine energies. The mystery schools taught that every human being contains both these currents, regardless of physical gender, and that their complete balancing and integration is essential for the formation of the immortal body. Let me share the exact protocol for the alchemical marriage, a practice that was taught only to initiates who had mastered all previous levels of the mystery teachings. Begin by creating a sacred space that includes specific elements the mystery schools found essential for this practice. A mirror position to reflect your seated form, a white candle to your right, a silver bowl of water to your left, a natural crystal before you. These elements represent the four essentials for the alchemical marriage: self-reflection, fire, solar current, water, lunar current, and crystallized light integration. Sit facing east in the transmutative state, with the 7 Hermetic seals activated. Place your hands in a specific configuration, right palm up on your left thigh, left palm down on your right thigh. This creates what the mystery schools called the circuit of integration, a crossing of polarized energies that facilitates their unification. Begin a specific breathing pattern that alternates between the right and left nostrils. Inhale through the right nostril for 8 counts. Exhale through the left nostril for 8 counts. Inhale through the left nostril for 8 counts. Exhale through the right nostril for 8 counts. This creates what the mystery schools called the breath of balance, a pattern that harmonizes the solar and lunar currents in the subtle body. Maintain this breath pattern for 21 complete cycles, a number the mystery schools associated with complete integration. As you complete the 21st cycle, focus your attention on the center of your chest, what the mystery schools called the chamber of integration. Visualize 2 currents of energy within your body, a golden stream flowing down from above, through the crown of your head, through the right side of your body, and into the center of your chest. A silver stream flowing up from below through the base of your spine, through the left side of your body, and into the center of your chest. As these streams meet in your chest center, visualize them forming a perfect sphere of radiant light, neither gold nor silver, but a luminous opalescent white that contains all colors within it. This sphere is what the mystery schools called the embryo of the immortal body, the initial formation of the vehicle of transcendent consciousness. As you hold this visualization, declare the sacred invocation of the alchemical marriage. Within the temple of my being, the solar and lunar currents unite in perfect balance, the above and the below, the inner and the outer, the masculine and the feminine, now marry in sacred union. From this perfect integration, the immortal body is conceived. I am no longer divided, I am unified. I am no longer mortal only, I am becoming immortal. As it was for the illumined ones of all traditions, so it is now for me. The alchemical marriage is consummated. After this declaration, maintain complete stillness and silence for 144 breaths, a number the mystery schools associated with the completion code of the immortal body. During this time, the embryonic formation in your chest center gradually expands until it encompasses your entire physical body, and extends approximately 9 inches beyond it in all directions. This expanded field is what the mystery schools called the initial body of light, the first stage of the immortal vehicle. The complete development of this vehicle was taught to require a specific period of dedicated practice, 1,000 days of maintaining the alchemical marriage, for at least 1 hour daily. This wasn't arbitrary. The mystery schools discovered that this specific duration creates the necessary energetic stability for the immortal body, to maintain its coherence independently of the physical form. As this practice progresses through the 1,000 days, the initiate experiences 3 distinct phases of transformation. First phase, days 1-333, increased energy and vitality in the physical body, spontaneous activation of latent abilities, dreams of flying, transformation, or meeting ascended beings, a profound sense of purpose and cosmic connection. Second phase, days 334-666, visible changes in the energetic field around the physical body, decreased need for sleep and food, increased synchronicity and flow in daily life, direct communication with higher dimensions of consciousness. Third phase, days 667, 1000, visible luminosity of the skin and eyes, complete freedom from fear of death, the ability to consciously exit and return to the physical body, direct knowledge of past incarnations and future possibilities. Upon completion of the 1000 days, the immortal body is fully formed and functional, not as a replacement for the physical body, but as a simultaneous vehicle that the consciousness can fully inhabit at the moment of physical death. This was the ultimate purpose of all mystery school initiations, not enlightenment as an abstract state, but the concrete formation of a vehicle that allows consciousness to continue its evolution beyond the limitations of physical existence. Now, having revealed these 7 forbidden teachings, I must emphasize what the mystery schools always taught. Knowledge without application remains theoretical. Wisdom comes only through direct experience. These teachings weren't meant to be intellectually understood. They were designed to be practiced, embodied, and realized. The mystery schools knew that true transformation doesn't come from accumulating secret information, but from the consistent application of transformative practices. They also emphasized that these teachings should be approached with reverence, humility, and ethical integrity. The powers they awaken are neither good nor evil in themselves. They simply amplify the existing intentions of the practitioner. This is why character development and ethical preparation always preceded advanced practices in the mystery traditions. As you consider these teachings, ask yourself, am I ready not just to know these secrets, but to live them with integrity and purpose? The ancient knowledge has been revealed. The forbidden teachings are now accessible. The path of the mysteries lies open before you. The choice to walk it is yours alone. The wisdom is eternal. The time is now. The seeker is you. If these ancient mystery teachings resonated with you, type initiate in the comments to symbolically activate your first step on the path of the adepts. This word serves as your declaration to the universe of your readiness to receive this ancestral wisdom. By writing this word of power, you energetically align yourself with truth seekers across millennia. Type initiate now and watch how this simple act begins to awaken something profound within you. May the cosmic intelligence illuminate your path. Until we meet again in the realm of higher wisdom.